Alright, this ain't gonna work. What we're going to do... I was hoping to get chat up. I don't know if anybody's going to chat, but I want to get my YouTube chat going. Hopefully the multi-stream one will be able to pick up the Twitch chat. Let's do this here. I have a chat bot. Let's get chat bot up. I don't know if the multi-stream is going to pick up the chat. We'll do chat bot for Twitch. Okay, so we're going to do something different today. There's an update. Fine, let's update. There's the challenge today is that I'm going to the change up is that we're not going to lead off with Tom McDonald. We're going to lead off with a video. The video is I got an interesting mood of things in my youth. Essentially, I watched a lot. Mom loved watching variety shows. Well, that was her thing growing up. Is that she loved watching performers. She loved watching singers. It almost didn't matter what their variety show was sometimes. Although it's kind of weird, is that she had a humor, but not a big one because she. I grew up loving the Marx Brothers. Marx Brothers was my favorite comedy troupe, and it's pretty funny is how they oh yeah, that's what I was going to do on my phone. I was going to log into YouTube and see if I can get the YouTube chat going on my phone. No, so what happened was is I grew up with, my mom never loved the Marx Brothers, and I never quite understood why. I myself, on the other hand, did love the Marx Brothers. That was one of my favorite things to watch. Why can't I look at myself being live? It says it's not live, but it should be. Grow your channel. Install Studio app for okay. Install YouTube Studio to grow your channel. Who knew? Oof. I hate looking at my hat. My hat looks like it's always crooked. I'm actually kind of bald. I was gonna wear a whiter shirt, but because the white shirt in this lighting, I don't have good lighting here. Just looks so horrible. There we go. I'm gonna turn the volume down. There we go. Turn the volume down, so we have that. Yeah, I grew up watching, like I said, watching a lot of variety shows because my mom was a big, huge fan of variety shows. You gotta be kidding me. Twitch is being the pain. Chatbot's being the pain in the butt. Authorization to complete. Okay. Connect. There we go. I don't have Discord connected. There we go. There we go. Well, I don't have my chat bot with that connected right now. So I grew up, watching a lot of comedies, a lot of musicals, a lot of everything else. Oh yeah, I came on to talk about procrastination. All right, well we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that in a second. So yeah, so it was kind of fun. So let's do this. Let's watch Roy Clark here. So Roy Clark he's a country performer. That's what he's mainly known for. He's done some rock musical performances and stuff like that, over the years. And he is the man of many talents. His biggest fame is that he is known to be able to play any instrument that has a string. I mean, when he was performing, big, he would have at least 20 different guitars on stage behind him, and he knew how to play every violin, every viola, every cello, bass, standing bass. He knew how to play every single guitar. If it had a string, he learned how to play it, and he learned how to play it well and incredible. So what we got here is we got Roy Clark live in 1976 on the Johnny Cash variety show. In the 70s, Johnny Cash had a variety show. And he is. It says Roy Clark, good old boy, plays a mean guitar, and he does. Now, the big one you'll see on the internet, people doing live reactions to, um, is him playing La Magra on Margaret. It's a Spanish name, on the Odd Couple, and that's a beautiful performance too. And there's also a live stage performance he did in Branson, Missouri. So here we go. This is Roy Clark, and then we'll get back into the conversation that we're supposed to have.
You know, I'm not the kind of fellow that likes to pin labels on people, because usually the labels are not accurate, you know, to put somebody in a bag and try to keep them there. But this fella's had some labels put on him that really did fit, like Entertainer of the Year and Favorite Country Singer and all kinds of things like that. I'd like to add another one, too, Good Old Boy. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Roy Clark.
Let's see, Johnny Cash and Friends. Now, the thing is, I do recommend this also. There is the final song and video ever done by Johnny Cash is a phenomenal one, and 9 Inch Nails. He did a version of 9 Inch Nails called "Hurt," and he put his own little thing, his own little thing to it, his own little style, and it is a phenomenal. Even 9 Inch Nails says that is just incredible. And there's, I think, a couple other versions of the song "Hurt," but Johnny Cash just knocked it out of the park. Roy Clark hot in the fiddle.
This
Again,
is
like I
what
said,
5 pounds of body fat.
No, we're not going there. Yeah, so Roy Clark can play, and it's amazing what he can do. The guy is phenomenal. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't cut the ads because I just don't, I don't can't afford it at the moment. Yeah, the hat, the dinner roll hat that he had is just, it shows the times. I mean, that was mid '70s right there. I mean, he's wearing bell bottoms and almost like full corduroy outfit, and that was a year. I don't know exactly when it aired, but it aired. That show was in 1976, and it aired. And the year later, in August of 1977, two things happened. One, the last of the Marx Brothers, the original Marx Brothers, passed away. That would be Groucho Marx. He passed away in August of 1977. But 3 days later, his death was overshadowed by another death, and that was Elvis Presley. So one of those things. um, we're gonna find something else here real quick. I'm gonna queue up for a little later. Excuse me. Before on the outro type thing, we'll go out with Roy Clark playing a. Let's see. That's just some medley stuff. He did a version of Folsom Prison of yeah, and we're gonna what we'll do, we'll go on an outro of Folsom Prison when we leave this. Yeah, that was it. Nah, he just went back up to his to the aliens now. So yeah, so my initial thing is to talk about procrastination. I am, like I said, a horrible person on it. I actually um kind of may have screwed up myself here for a second. I've been unemployed for the last 6 months, which means I should have been streaming a lot more, and that's where procrastination kind of got into it. I love playing video games. I love playing World of Warships and stuff like that. And I've been playing World of Warships, Dead Island 2, Cyberpunk 2077. Um, Watching a lot of political videos. That's horrible things to do. I don't recommend it. You go to your head. Playing Starfield. I just started the expansion. I'm just going through it slowly. The game is nice, but just has such annoyance. So yeah. So as you can tell, I procrastinated a lot. I did a lot of stuff that I should have done online. I should have been streaming. I should have putting the 8 hours in minimum streaming, playing these things, playing these games, and I didn't do it. That's just me being an idiot. So that's kind of what procrastination does to you. So yeah, so what I was saying is that I was actually working. I've been interviewing a lot and everything, and then this week I had an odd thing happen. On Monday, I had an interview with a company that kind of liked me, but not apparently they didn't because they never responded back eventually. And then I interviewed with another company on Tuesday that immediately wanted to hire me direct, not in a contract position. And then another company contacted me yesterday and offered me not a better job, but a better paying job. And but I had to go to the interview, and I won't find out the results of that interview till Monday. But after thinking about it, I made a mistake of telling the other company that hired me already. I mean, I filled out paperwork, I got everything set. For the most part, I'm supposed to start next Wednesday, and the only problem is I have to move to a different city. That's the biggest problem. And my son, who's autistic, doesn't want to move. He wants to stay here, and that's kind of hard because no one else is here to take care of him. His mom is in New York. I'm here. His aunt definitely can't take him in, and none of his cousins will take him in, not right now, not until I pass away. So I made the mistake of telling the other company that already hired me that, hey, another person wanted me to interview. I'm going to do the interview. they may pay more if they offered, I may accept because they pay more. And that was where the mistake was at. And so after I filled out all the paperwork, the other company kind of stalled when I offered me a job. I should never have told them. Although I did tell them earlier the week that I may do other interviews because I've been asked to do other interviews. I just want to do that, fill them out and do that. And that was kind of a mistake because the person I interviewed with on yesterday, the interview went well for the most part. In my opinion, I felt it went well. But he also said that he was following up with another person he tried to interview earlier, and he had like 2 to 3 other interviews I was going to do today, and then he was going to make a full decision on Monday. And I kind of asked him that, can you decide by Monday? He goes, yeah, I could do that. And so, which kind of tells me that he's not going to pick me. He may end up picking the other people instead, and that was my mistake. And that I tend, like my dad before me, he never liked having conflict. He really didn't, and I don't like having conflict either. I rather give rather please people. Although at times I know I'm going to have to disappoint people. I work conventions. Matter of fact, I'm wearing Crypticon Seattle right now. One of the shirts for the staff shirts they had. And I work, and I hate seeing disappointment on people's faces whenever that I tell them, celebrity's leaving. I'm sorry, he has to leave. It's, if you were here yesterday, I know you're here yesterday. I've seen you walking around. If you wanted to get his autograph, you better have done it the day that you came, the first day, not procrastinate. Until to think, oh yeah, I could do it in the day of Sunday. Most celebrities at most conventions generally don't stay till the last hour or last minute of conventions. They usually end up leaving like 2 hours before the convention ends. They end up leaving a half hour before the convention ends. If no one's coming to their table, then that means that they're not making money, which means why wait? Why stand around? Why be bored? He can easily leave. He or she or they could easily leave and go to and do business on the phone and get a new gig somewhere else eventually, or they have projects that they're working on, or they worry about stalkers and stuff like that. I've seen pretty much everything. I've had interesting events, interesting meetings with fans, interesting celebrities I met over the years. I started working for conventions in 2011 when I got divorced of my wife of 10 years. I never thought I would get divorced, but it was rough. And don't get me wrong, she's a sweet woman. She's just, much like me, she doesn't like conflict and she doesn't like to talk about it, talk about problems. And when I finally realized that there was a problem in our relationship, and I decided, hey, we need to fix this, we need to get something, working and going. So that's why I want to do it. All right, so let's get back to the meat and potatoes thing. So what we have here is on the, let's show this here, on the 31 days of Halloween, I decide on day 11, it is Nicolas Cage. Me, on the other hand, I chose for my film for Nicolas Cage is what was it? Willy's Wonderland. Came out in 2020 or 2021. It was, to be honest, it was freaking awesome. Here's the actual poster to it. Let me get the poster up for you. There's the poster. Hey, look, it covered my face. Ha! So yeah, Willy's Wonderland. It's I kind of recommend the oh, that's why it just covered my face, because I didn't adjust it. There we go. There we go. So yeah, so this is Willy's Wonderland. Shortly before Willy's Wonder, or just I think either before or after Willy Wonderland came out, there was another movie which is theme park theme like this, which is, you know, Chuck E. Cheese style theme. You had Five Nights at Freddy's, and that came out, of course, I think last year, 2 years ago, 2022. But before that, there was an IP that kind of went out of, which I want to talk to that guy too. That went out. Yes, it was. Yes, it was Five Nights at Freddy's hype, but it was also another movie that came out that it was kind of a spoof on too, and that was oh, it's one of my favorite films, or it was one of my favorite shows growing up as a kid. Let's see, where did I put it? Movies, A to Z. There it is, the Banana Splits movie. So this came out in 2019, just before Willy's Wonderland. This is Banana Splits was a TV show when I came out when I was a kid. It came out in the 60s and early 70s. And it was a, you know, kid show. It was a nice, funny kid show. And now the IP for Banana Splits kind of ran out, and during this time period, the 2018, 19, 20, and 21, when some of their IPs are coming out or ending, you had movies like, you know, Winnie the Pooh. It was yeah, the Winnie the Pooh and the Blood Honey. It was so freaking funny, and I can't believe we made a sequel to it too. But yeah, Banana Splits movie is kind of based off of the Banana Splits TV show, which, you know, this spawned off a lot of things. So yeah, so what? So Willy's Wonderland, of course, Five Nights at Freddy's, kind of Banana Splits also, and Banana Splits, you could say it was Five Nights at Freddy's 2 also, but it was just still, I recommend watching this. It's over the top horror and funny. But what we're here to watch good bad flicks again, and good bad flicks. Since I picked Nicolas Cage and recommend watching Willy's Wonderland, awesome show. But good bad flicks, this is one of the earlier stuff from 11 years ago. Presents The Wicker Man, and whether this is, and we're gonna kind of watch this. This is his. It's a 15-minute, 16-minute, well, less than 15-minute, I guess. Take on the evaluation of The Wicker Man. This is why I recommend good bad flicks. By the way, they're great. It's a great channel. He also has his own Twitter or Twitch channel, of course Twitter, and also his Discord page and everything.
The original 1973 Wicker Man is one of the moodiest, weirdest, most atmospheric movies ever made. It's often considered not only one of the best horror films, but one of the best films of all time. If you've never seen the original, I give it my highest recommendation. It's an incredibly creepy film with a heavy focus on organized religion and paganism. However, I'm not here to talk about the original. I'm here to talk about the god-awful 2006 remake. The remake is one of the sloppiest, dumbest movies I've ever seen. As a horror film, it fails in every possible way. As a comedy, however, it is gold. The Wicker Man is a 2006 horror unintentional comedy from director Neil LaBute.
Nicolas Cage performances in this is kind of what makes it gold, to be honest. It was really awesome. There's very few Nicolas Cage films that I like. One of them I don't like is Raising Arizona, which was one of the very first films. I didn't realize it was him. And sorry for itching my beard and everything. And his performance in that, because he does his voice, it's like Mary Sue Got Married type movie. Not his earlier work I didn't quite enjoy. As he got in the groove of things, I think it was after Face Off or during Face Off, was when I started liking Nicolas Cage more.
If you're looking for a good movie, look elsewhere. If you're looking for a movie that crosses that magical line of so bad it's good, then look no further.
What is it? What's wrong, sister?
The movie opens with motorcycle cop Edward Malice. A kid throws her doll into the road, so he pulls the car over to return it. So why exactly is this kid not sitting in the passenger seat? I'm gonna say probably so the scene can play out much more conveniently on one side of the car. And the little asshole kid throws her doll out into the road and causes this to happen. You know, she has no one to blame but herself. Malice tries to break in to save them, but the car explodes and knocks him into the titles. Sometime later, he's on a leave of absence from his job. A female cop brings him some get-well letters and some cards from work. So nobody in his precinct knows how to mail a letter? The female cop sits down, and we're treated to awkward moments of Malice staring blankly into space. Acting! The cop tells him that they never found the bodies of the girls in the car crash. Malice gets a letter from Willow, his ex-fiancée. She tells him she now resides in a small town called Summersisle. Her daughter Rowan's missing, and since he's a cop, she wants him to come to the island and find her. He takes the letter to the police station and talks to one of his friends.
Wow. The plot thickens. Didn't even know you had a plot.
No kidding.
Oh, the irony of that statement.
Give her a call.
I already tried that, but guess what? There's no phone service on Summersisle.
So the island has no phones, but they have a website where you can order things? Malice takes a ferry out. Man, the traffic on this boat is brutal. He gets to a port where he bribes this guy to fly him to Summersisle. They fly over the hidden Nazi forest to the island of Summersisle. When he arrives on the island, he runs into a bunch of people who tell him that he's not allowed to be there.
He'll need a good talking to.
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
Oh, yes, because when I see a bunch of people holding a wriggling burlap sack, the first thing I think of is shark. He goes to the local inn and, hello, sir or madam.
I'm Sister Beach, yes. And you're that officer from California?
So he just got off the plane, walked into town, and already they know about him being there. Any red flags going off yet, officer?
Whoops.
Now, why would you go and do a thing like that?
Sorry, I'm allergic.
He gets a place to stay for the night and runs into his ex-fiancée, Willow. She gives him a note telling him to meet up with her later. Throughout the entire film, Willow looks and acts completely baked.
If you've grown up around it, it's one thing, but it's...
She explains why she left and came back to where she grew up. Good God, she has some gigantic feet. Malice is in his room unpacking when he overhears the women talking.
Excuse me. Did someone unpack my bag? Because I'm missing some tapes.
I wouldn't know about that.
They're called Everything's Okay.
Good.
So these women who may want to kill him don't steal his EpiPens, they steal his self-help tapes. He goes to bed and has a dream about something he imagined earlier in the film. He wakes up from his boring nightmare and takes his pills. He sees a girl running outside and chases after her. I don't think it's such a good idea to go out in the wilderness at night after you just took some sleeping pills. He follows the girl into the barn, but finds nothing but pigeons and apples.
One pause. So this movie has the meme in it. A meme comes from this movie, and you'll know it when you see it.
The floor gives way and he's almost impaled in the tools below. Now who stores their pitchforks like that? What is this, Prince of Persia? And now the J.J. Abrams directed portion of the film. Malice is trying to enjoy some honey with his breakfast, but Sister Honey informs him they're all out. Malice goes to the Employee of the Month wall to see that one of the pictures is missing.
What are these? Festivals of some kind? Or...
That's right. Our harvest festival, we have one the end of each autumn. And then the festival of fertility, too, of course. But that's too sacred.
Oh, great. Now I have a vision of Sister Beach during the Festival of Fertility stuck in my head. Malice goes outside to talk to Sister Honey. You know, there's nothing more attractive than a woman who can cut her own firewood.
Where's that?
Up the hill and through the woods.
No, that's the way to grandmother's
That's what I was
house.
gonna say.
When you leave, will you take me with you?
I'm pretty sure if Sister Honey looked like this Sister Honey, he would have left the island with her that instant.
Yep.
Malice heads off into the woods. So if the Festival of Fertility is in a few days, how is it that all of these girls are pregnant? It's a yearly event, so shouldn't they have already had their children roughly 3 months ago?
Will you tell us what man represents in his purest form? Yes.
Phallic symbol, phallic symbol.
Now get him to say penis, penis.
How dare you stand there
With your gigantic phallus. He asks the class if they know Rowan. Who made that log cabin? It is very impressive. He opens the only empty desk in the room and a boo scare flies out. Malice goes through the class roster and finds Rowan's name. Malice gets Sister Rose to explain what happened to Rowan.
She'll burn to death.
What? What'd you just say?
Precisely what I meant to. She burned to death.
He goes to Rowan's grave and runs into Willow.
But they put it there. I didn't.
Who's that?
Who, the crows?
I don't know. Whoever's...
Could you please finish a sentence?
I know that this seems... It's not much now, but it... They seem to blame her for all... They think I'm too proud or that I...
Okay, exactly how many mushrooms are you on? Willow then reveals a twist that the audience figured out hours ago.
No, I don't know. I do not know that our daughter's gonna be okay.
He sees the captain coming in, so he goes out to see if he can use his radio. He gets there, and no one's around. He thinks he sees Rowan underwater, but of course he's just dreaming. Malice swims out to the plane, only to find it's been sabotaged. Malice is waiting outside of Dr. Moss's house, and oh my god, they cloned Kenny! He breaks into her lab and finds a bunch of fetuses in jars. Searching some more, he conveniently finds the missing harvest photo of Rowan Woodward. Malice confronts Willow.
What the hell is this?
It's a picture.
It's a picture.
Yes, I know it's a picture. Malice is heading to see Sister Summersisle, but somehow manages to ride into a field of bees. You know, instead of running into the bees, why not turn around and go back the way you came? You know, where there are no bees.
Yeah.
So after being stung about a bazillion times, he has another flashback, and then he wakes up in Sister Summersisle's house. The doctor gave him some old world treatment to save him. He goes outside to talk to Sister Summersisle. These girls are supposed to be Sister Summersisle's protectors? Two pretty waifs? Wouldn't she be safer with a couple of linebacker-sized girls like, oh, I don't know, Sister Beach? Malice chews out Sister Summersisle and leaves. Although it's kind of hard to look tough riding away on a girl's bike. Maybe he can ring the bell while he's at it. Malice
Alright, pause that for a second. So there's a guy, I go walking around this lake with my sister every Sunday. Or we try. I mean, I have to get exercise somehow. And there's a guy who does that. He rides the bike on the bike path, and he's playing music, he's constantly yelling at other people, and also blasting this horn. When he's less than 80 yards away from somebody, he starts doing it, and then people would yell at him and say, "Hey, it's you don't need to blast it that many times when we see you and we're away." And he goes, and his response is, "Well, it's the law. I have to do it." I'm like, "No, it's not the law that you have to do it. Matter of fact, you're on a bike. You may be on a walking path, and it's not a bike path, and you don't have the right of way in a bike path on the walking path. But still, it's funny."
digs up the grave, but surprise, it's empty. He hears some crying in the flooded crypt, so he goes to investigate and is locked inside. He stays locked up in there all night and, of course, has another nightmare. Ooh, her name is Forrest. So the female cop is in on this too. What? The next day, Willow rescues Malice. He seems to have a lot of energy for somebody who was treading water all night. And here's where Malice loses his fucking mind for the rest of the movie.
Tell me!
Yes, I think yeah.
How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned?
There we go. That's the Nick Cage.
He breaks into
we want.
Summersisle's house and sees this nonsense. A guy with a bunch of bee stings. A woman covered in bees. What does this have to do with anything? Mouse runs into Sister Rose.
Get off the bike. Step away from the bike. Take your stupid mask.
He heads into town, terrorizes small children, and screams at everyone.
You have my permission to stay out of the fucking way!
So after kicking in some doors and completely losing his shit, he runs around, and for some reason, this part is supposed to be scary. Did they forget to add in some CGI or something? Mouse heads back to the inn to confront Sister Beach, and cinematic history is born. Sister Summersisle puts on her Braveheart makeup to deliver a speech to her followers. Sister Honey attacks Malice and he kicks her into the wall. Malice dons a bear suit to sneak into the festival. Oh great, it's a huge furry convention. If I see a unicorn fucking Pikachu, I'm turning this thing off. Malice sees Rowan tied up on top of the hill. No joke I can come up with is funnier than what happens next. Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage punches out a woman while wearing a bear costume. Wonder if this is how Rowan sees this. He rescues Rowan and they chase after him. So now all of a sudden, even though they're miles from the nearest cell tower, he gets a phone call. Rowan runs off and Malice chases her right into all the villagers. They explain he was just a pawn in this whole game. They brought him to the island to be sacrificed so that next year's crops will be bountiful.
Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey!
But I know it will.
They capture him and break his legs so he can't get away. This is hilarious.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes! Ah! Ah!
These CGI bees are terrible. What is this, bee-demic?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. They then place him in the giant wicker man and sacrifice him to their gods. Aside from the obvious problems with the film, let's take a look at something major that I don't think anyone else covered. If Malice was so important to them as a sacrifice, why did they put him through so many situations where he could have died? He could have been impaled, drowned, or, I don't know, perhaps stung to death by all the bees on the island? That's the other thing. Since he's allergic to bees, why would Willow pick him to impregnate her? If there was a chance that their offspring could have inherited his allergy, wouldn't that have been enough for her to look for a better candidate? Another thing is he's a cop, so he could have died in the line of duty during that 5-year period when Willow was on the island, which he almost did in the beginning of the movie. Also, at the end of the movie, when he was losing his mind, he beat the crap out of some of the women. Why would they risk this? Why wouldn't they just bring him to the island and sedate him until he was ready to be sacrificed? In the original film, there was a clear explanation to this, but in the remake, since they changed the whole crux of the story, they just called it a game and left it at that. Also, the plan wasn't foolproof. Pete, Malice's cop buddy, knew that he was going to Summersisle. The movie was shot in Vancouver, Canada in 45 days for about $40 million. In the original film, the island was called Summer Isle, but the director changed it to Summersisle for the remake because he thought that Summer Isle was too difficult to say. Director Neil LaBute has made some good movies in the past, like Your Friends and Neighbors, the Samuel Jackson Screamfest Lakeview Terrace, and the brutal dark comedy In the Company of Men. Nicolas Cage approached LaBute with the offer to remake the film. He was a huge fan of the original and wanted to remake it as a tribute to his friend Johnny Ramone, who turned him on to the film. Cage genuinely wanted to make the film scary. In an interview, he said he wanted to make the film so scary, you wake up in your bed at 3 a.m. and go, I can't get that image out of my head. Unfortunately for him, that's true, only it's this image. More recently, though, he's taken the stance that the film was intended to be ridiculous. I simply think he's trying to take some of the heat off himself for having such a huge part of a notoriously bad film. No one intentionally makes a $40 million bad film. No one intended for Showgirls to be bad, but it ended up being a glorious disaster. However, you take something like The Ginger Dead Man, now that is an intentionally bad movie. Aaron Eckhart had a cameo in the beginning. In the original ending, James Franco and Jason Ritter had cameos. The ending they showed in theaters had Willow and Honey going to the mainland looking for some new guys to get them pregnant. In the original, the whole focus of the film was on paganism versus Catholicism. With the remake, they threw that right out the window, and instead made it about men versus women. They had a matriarchal society where the women ruled and the men were drones. In the original, it was about their apple harvest and not honey. As silly as that sounds, it totally works in the original due to some incredible acting from Edward Woodward and Christopher Lee. Lee said that out of all the movies he's done, The Wicker Man is his best work. Plus, Britt Eklund was a way hotter Willow. I'll give them credit for the whole bee angle, at least they went all in with it. Everything was in the shape of a honeycomb. The tables, the windows, the rooms, the grass, just about everything that was on the island. One scene in particular I liked was when Mouse was helping the workers to pick up some logs. Little did he know that the logs were being used to build the Wicker Man, so he effectively helped to build the vessel that would ultimately kill him. They threw in a few nods of the original. The characters of Edward Malice and Rowan Woodward were an homage to Edward Woodward, who was Sergeant Howie in the original. In the police station, there's a missing poster with a picture of Woodward from the original. The maypole outside the school was there from the original, but it didn't get used. So yes, this is one of the worst remakes and a complete disgrace to the original. It packs none of the tension, suspense, and quality acting that the original does, but that doesn't make it unwatchable. This is a bad movie, make no mistake, but at least you can enjoy it if you look at it from the right perspective. However, no perspective change can make this entertaining. Or this. Or this.
Alright, there we go. Hey, look, it's Eddie. If you know that reference, who Eddie is. There we go. Alright, yeah, so that was... that was actually pretty good. I actually, the Good Bad Flicks, I guess he calls himself Cecil. You can call me Vincent. He does a really, really good job of setting things up for his research and for his information on movies and all that. A lot of the details I get is sort of from him, and then some stuff I've learned over the years. I'm an old fart. I've been around a while. I'm the one that really calls me an old fart. Everybody else really doesn't. So Nicolas Cage. Some of my best films I've watched over and over again is Nicolas Cage films. Ghost Rider is one of those. I believe Ghost Rider is definitely an underrated. The first one was good. The second one, could have been better. Hold on, I'm trying to see something here. For some reason, looks like this stream is offline. That's odd. That can't be right. Let me look here real quick. There might be. Nope, it's not offline. For some reason, it says it is. All right, so yeah, so I grew up watching a lot of the movies, especially some of Nicolas Cage films. So we're going to get let's see here. Yeah, so yeah, back to procrastination. No, I ain't gonna do procrastination yet. We'll do that tomorrow, or Monday, or Tuesday, or Sunday. It'll be there. We'll get around to procrastination again. So what we're going to do is this weekend. Yeah, this weekend. There's what movie is coming out that came out this week. I think I was going to go see a movie. Let's see here. I was going to go see a movie tomorrow. Movies. As much as I don't want to see it, I actually want to see The Joker too. Even though I've heard such horrible things about it. The fact that it's not really an actual kind of sequel to the first movie The director kind of said that it was more, he wanted it more to be a musical, and that's what turned out to be. So it didn't have the same feel that the first movie had when it came to representing the Joker. So that was kind of interesting. All right, so I want the 12th. Oh, sorry, I want to take my son to that, but I don't got any money for that. I think he would really enjoy that. Piece by Piece, the Pharrell Williams movie, pretty much about Pharrell Williams' life and done by a Lego format. So I wouldn't mind to see that. Terrifier 3, I haven't even seen 1 and 2 yet. I'm a horrible horror fanatic. So I might go see Wild Robot or The Substance tomorrow. Or probably both. Or My Hero Academia. Wow, yeah, that might be good. You're next. I binge watched My Hero Academia, and it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised on how good that series is. I did get kind of annoyed, and this problem I have with most animes is that they drag things out. They drag out the episodes. They drag out the series. They drag things, to the nth degree of just going rambling, much like me. And so yeah, that was my only issue I had with it. Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas is in the theaters again. I could probably watch that. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go see either Wild Robot or The Substance. I'm probably gonna see The Substance. Give you a nice horror review tomorrow night from a movie. No, I don't think I've seen The Platform. Let's see. Let's look for the trailer of The Platform. Wow, they already have Platform 2 out already. Oh, it's on Netflix. Okay.
Hay tres clases de personas. Los de arriba, los de abajo, los que caen. El hoyo. Sí, el hoyo.
¿Y usted sabe en qué consiste esto del hoyo?
Obvio. Comer.
¿Qué vamos a comer?
Lo que le sobra a los de arriba.
Es asqueroso. ¿Hay mucha más gente abajo?
Dentro de poco habrá menos.
Sorry about that. I don't know why that's in the middle of the screen.
¿Que era una persona? Pues claro que era una persona.
¡Es que nadie va a hacer nada!
Si todo el mundo comiera solo lo que necesita, la comida llegaría al nivel más bajo.
Wow, that's...
Ayúdame a bajar.
Bajar es un suicidio.
Sorry,
El hambre desata la locura. Tiene buen corazón. No creo que sobreviva usted mucho tiempo.
Okay, I may have to watch that. It's... Well, most sequels are horrible. You can only do so much. And, I didn't like the fact that the stop button wouldn't go away. Friggin' IMDb. That looks interesting. I always certain thrillers I kind of stay away from because it's the breakdown of human society kind of bugs me when stuff like that happens. When it's these guys, it looks like they're in a prison, and the only way they eat is from you got the people at the very top who gorge themselves on food, and then the leftovers get whatever doesn't eat goes down, and the further down, the more disgusting the food is because either whatever people don't eat or the people above could probably piss on it. There's people, it gets spoiled over time as it transfers down. So that's an interesting concept. That is, I actually kind of like that. I kind of wish it wasn't subtitled, but that's a different story. Yeah, you're waiting for it to go down. Oh wow, I didn't know that. So yeah, well, usually movies also that's like I said, sequels are not always as good as the first one. I mean, Beetlejuice is not as good as the first one. There's too much going on in that movie. I watched it. I like Tim Burton. I like Michael Keaton. Winona Ryder, I've always been a fan of. I'm learning to like Jenna Ortega more because she hasn't embraced the woke culture as much as I've seen, and I'm not a big fan of woke culture in the sense because it kind of makes everything bland. Um, so yeah, and so Beetlejuice had so much going on. There's three or four different stories going on, and they underutilized, in my opinion, the story with Beetlejuice's wife, Monica Bellucci, and because they way underutilized that role so much. My sister wants me to go see Smiles 2. She wants to see that together. And my problem is I haven't finished the first one yet. Again, human society, the mind, that can play on you. Imagine was okay if I could separate myself from that, from the human society and that and everything, then I'd be able to watch it because I grew up a very dark individual. Internally, I was very dark. Oh, okay. So even from the top, it takes a while for the thing to rotate around. Essentially, okay. Um, I grew up a very dark-minded individual. I mean, I'll admit, when I was about between the ages of 17 and 19, no, not 19. I would say more of 17 and 20. I had a very destructive personality, to the point where I almost committed suicide twice, and it all spanned out from an incident that happened when I was 10 years old, and I just never got over it, or never confronted that incident. Um, so yeah, it's so I the dark thoughts that people have, and some of these characters, I'm like going, oh, I can do that. I actually did a D&D session like that, um, where I played the not D, it wasn't D&D, it was Babylon 5, and we created a character that had that was the medic of the team. He was the guy he was a field medic, military field medic that survived the war between the Membari and the humans, and he was we rolled for um, like defects because we want to get enhance certain skills, and like most games, if you got a minus you get a better plus, and so we rolled the defects for mental instability, and his mental instability was PTSD. And I played into it. I rode into that dark realm, and people kind of got weirded out by it because they didn't think I could do that dark thoughts, and knowing the kind of guy that I am, how nice I am, and everything. So it kind of made them kind of scared of me. turn the music off because I gotta go past advertisement. I'm queuing up another video for another song. But yeah, here we go. So I got another song queued up. So it was I See Myself. How you doing? There we go. Oh yeah, I freaked people out. It was amazing in that sense. Why did that? See, disconnect, connect. Interesting. Chatbot kind of screwed itself up, and I don't know why it's doing it. We're gonna close that chatbot. Yeah, so I got really dark. Yeah, it freaked people out. So I tend to avoid movies that can be more related to actual real life or an actual real person. That's why I had a hard time watching Silence of the Lambs. I still actually haven't seen the whole thing all the way through, because it's too relatable to individuals in society that nowadays that can do it and have done it. I actually kind of screwed up one of my relationships. I dated a girl, and 2 movies came out about the same time, and I didn't want to go see Silence of the Lambs. I'd never explained to her why I didn't want to see it, and so we ended up going seeing a worse movie. I can't remember. Let's see, when did Silence of the Lambs come out? I want to see what came out at the same time as Silence of the Lambs. Let's see, 1991. All right. Let's see. Movies that came out in 1991. Let's see. We went and saw. All right. So here we go. This is all right. So we had the top 10 movies of 1991 was Terminator 2, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Beauty and the Beast, Signs of the Lambs, City Slickers, Hook, Adam's Family, Sleeping with the Enemy, Father of the Bride, and Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear. Now, we didn't see any one of those movies. Let's see. Like I said, it destroyed the relationship because of that. Guys, if you want to keep a good relationship and a girl recommends 2 movies, go see the other movie. Go see the movie she wants to see. Nothing But Trouble came out that year. And it wasn't that movie. Nothing But Trouble was actually pretty good. I recommend that movie. That was actually an awesome movie. Not Meet the Applegates. That was okay. Not LA Story. Ski School came out. Wow. What was the movie? She wanted to see Silence of the Lambs, and we ended up seeing something else. It was just horrible. I can't find it. That's amazing. No, none of those. Well, the Dolph Lundgren Punisher came out, but that one didn't get released in theaters. That went straight to video. It wasn't Toy Soldiers. What about Bob? Would have been an awesome film. Hudson Hawk was an awesome film. Wow, I can't find the movie that was out when that she wanted to see that we ended up not seeing, and then, like I said, it killed my relationship with her. All I know, it was just a horror. It wasn't that good of a film. Wow, I can't find it. It's weird. Looking at all the films that came out, and that one it's just not there. All right. Interesting. I just remember she wanted to go see Silence of the Lambs. We didn't see it. We ended up seeing something else, and then that kind of put a damp in our relationship. And then she broke up just before we graduated. Huh. Interesting. All right. One of those things I just don't know. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this out with Folsom Prison by Roy Clark. This is I don't remember when it's going to say when it aired. It's in black and white, so that means it was well before the 70s, so it could have been the mid 60s. Folsom Prison was also a song by Folsom Prison Blues. I know it was done by Johnny Cash. Let's see. All right. So Folsom Prison Blues, yeah, it was the original Johnny Cash song, written in 1953, released in 1955. So, which means this had to have been about that time period between 55 and 65 when it was still black and white TV at the time. All right, here we go. Let's get this up. There we go. Oh, it's muted, sorry.
Sure that.
So this is 1964.
Here's a tune, been one of my favorites, and I'm sure that you'll recognize it. It's one called One of My Favorites. Well, you can't hardly get around that. I hear that train a-coming, it's coming around the bend. Coming around the bend there, that part. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Lord, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging by. Well, that'll make your eyes smart. Every time I hear that freight train, I hang my head and I cry. Yeah, cry. Well, when I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns, but I shot a man in Reno. Just to watch him die. Like that, Mom? And every time I hear that freight train, I hang my head and I cry. Oh, pick it out one time, Luther. Feels good. You know, like, I think it looks funny out there. You're sitting back here. It looks like a bunch in a sack. Well, it's the interlude. 1, 2, 3. I bet I surely will. There's people eating in that fancy dining car. They probably smoking whiskey, drinking a big cigar, but I know I had it coming. Did you see what I was done then? Just had my thumb on top. I was made to go with my thumb. Yeah. heart's getting harder and harder to do. All I do is cry. Hum. Every time I hear that freight train leave one more time, I hang my head and I cry. I think we've had it, Luther. We better take it out or we're still ahead, Hoss.
All right, so just a little quick story here. Yeah, Borat was a bad idea. I've only seen clips of that film, and I kind of refuse to watch that one. It doesn't seem so funny to me. That kind of humor is just, I like humor, but that's just not that humor. Jimi Hendrix was asked who is his favorite guitarist that he knows, the best guitarist that he knows, and I found two different stories where he said one was Gibson or Gibbs, the lead guitarist for ZZ Top, was one of them, and ZZ Top I think came out in the early '70s, late '60s, early '70s, and the other one was Roy Clark. Everybody impressed by Roy Clark. All right, so with that being that, what we'll do is we'll talk about procrastination either tomorrow after the film. I'll probably do a quick stream after seeing the movie. I'll let you know how the movie was, and we'll also do another good bad flicks. Probably a movie with if I can find a movie with the lead from the Substance. I knew it's there somewhere. Yeah, we'll find one with Demi Moore in it. In the and then go from there. And so with that, I say this. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it. If you find me on YouTube, just give me a like on on the channel. If you haven't followed me on Twitch, please give me a follow there. I also been streaming on X, so I'm covering 3 platforms right now. Hopefully, I could be able to do a 4th platform. I think because I'm not doing video games is the reason why I can do it across 3. I try to do add Rumble, but Rumble doesn't want to work right, and I don't know if I could do locals and Rumble on Twitch or Twitter, but you can't do anything else. And so because I'm using Streamlabs, so it's kind of hard to do multi-streaming. So yeah, so I'd say this: be nice, be kind, and enjoy the movies. Yeah, ending soon. Ha.